Welcome back to Mission Reboot. Today we're talking about tech basics, and I think we're going to just really focus on banking because digital banking is a thing, and it's more than just your ATM card. It might have just been like, hey, how to navigate. Well, banking is a place today you still can walk in and open up an account. But quite frankly, you don't have to. There are a lot of ways that you can open up online accounts and never walk into a bank. And I don't know. Let's just go. Hey, Josh, you have a background in finance.
Yeah.
So we're just going to start with you, from a fancy,
from a
university.
very prestigious
There's
university.
Retail banking, there's investment banking. There's
Josh.
commercial.
This is basic.
Yeah.
Basic.
So digital banking, what you'll do is, you'll go online, you'll search for banks, and a lot of the same bank branches that you maybe have heard of before will have an online presence. You create an account, you say, hey, I'd like to open a checking account. And I think the important thing is not just that you can do that online and then log in and see your bank balance without having to go in. But that also the way money flows between people and in organizations, companies.
Yeah, because there's Venmo, there's PayPal, there's Cash App.
If we go out to dinner and Lauren takes the bill, she say, "Hey, just Venmo me."
Let's try that tonight.
$20. Yeah. You guys can Venmo me. And that means, hey, I can just send her money. I just type in an amount and it goes to her account.
Yeah.
And it's attached to your cell phone. So I think
it's so funny. I'm so old. When we started this conversation with digital banking, I wasn't thinking of Cash App and Zelle and all those things. And today I use Cash App before I came in. So I use all of this stuff, but it's still not registering that it is banking.
It's banking.
It's for sure banking.
It's moving money. So
the transfer of money.
And I know it is, but just like there are times when I have to remind myself,
Yeah. And it's very seamless and you don't realize it's nobody, you're right. It's just like, hey, if I pull out $20 and I give it I don't think of, I was a bank.
I owe you $20. So I'll give you 20. Yeah.
So there's a lot of technology that's meant to make the transfer of money seamless. We were joking earlier in a separate conversation about, hey, you can now just take your card out and just lay it on something and it will automatically connect without being inserted. Or you can do that with your phone also. Your phone stores your banking credentials.
Yeah.
And so
I haven't figured out how to do that one yet.
So the reason why this is a part of the digital literacy conversation is, as someone who has to start everything over, one of the first things everyone tells you is to get a job. Sometimes when you come home, people give you money. And so digital literacy and banking is actually probably one of the first three things that will happen. And even if you leave a facility and you get a small amount of money from your facility, you now have cash potentially or a card.
And a lot of places don't take cash.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it's that piece. And so I think one of the things that's important, to Josh's point, is figuring out your bank. This is not a banking funded episode, but if you have access to a credit union, but we will take sponsorship. But if you have access to a credit union, that's probably a non-predatory banking situation for you to get into, because you said going to open up an account. People sometimes get extremely weirded out about overdraft fees, and so they end up kind of in more like Walmart type cash money exchange situations. And so I think one of the things that when we think about your reentry, it's finding a bank you're comfortable with. If you don't know which bank is a good bank, ask people in your community. You're going to go on the website. You're then going to potentially also download the app. And then to Josh's point, when you start to re-engage with community, there are going to be more apps that you download. We talked about PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. There's a ton of other ones. And so that will be something that you have to become reintegrated into, which is...
And you could be comfortable. It's kind of, for me, it's what I said about all the social media platforms. Feel free to find your one or two.
Yeah,
just like make folk, like if you're trying to give somebody some money, trust me, they're gonna figure out how to get your money.
You don't need all of them.
This is true.
You don't need all of them.
And
you don't have to start off with all of them, but get one or two, and get whatever is required by your bank, and become really familiar with them, knowing how to work them and transfer and all of that good stuff.
One last piece on this is just also being mindful of it feels like it's known, but just so we need to say it, never share your banking information with people. That's one of the things that happens oftentimes is scams. And if you have not been familiar with digital banking in years because of your reentry journey, just be mindful, because it can, because you don't have cash anymore, that so much of moving money around is now online, and it is easy to become a victim of a scam.
Yeah, and there are two very important things I want to mention on this. One is that you will often need a bank account in order to get hired somewhere, because they will typically want to send they're not going to give you a physical paycheck. They're just going to transfer the money directly into your account. So that is a requirement. Second, on this topic, be very, very careful about jobs posted online
Forgot about that part.
then say, hey, you've been hired. We want you to hire
Yep.
or to be to join. Send us your banking account
That is a
information.
legit scam.
I've run into many people who have had this happen. They think they're getting hired at a job. They send their banking information and they go in and they clear out their money. So
That's just terrible.
yeah,
We've had a couple people at Mission Launch have that experience where they thought we were scamming them because they just got scammed. And they were, and I was like, no, I actually literally want to help you get a job. They're like, well, prove to me you're a real person. I'm like, I'll do my best, but also, if you have a trust issue, I can't overcome that right now.
So you do have to have a bank account to get hired, and then if somebody just easily gives you a job, they're
It's
possibly
suspicious.
if you don't talk to a real person at a real company and they interview you and it doesn't feel like you put some work in to get that job, they might be trying to scam you.
Yeah, and I just want to go back to Lauren mentioned credit unions. You know, for a lot of people, even if you don't qualify for a credit union, someone in your family might qualify, and by association with them, you might qualify. Likewise, it could be that there is a credit union in your area, and just because you live in that area, you qualify to be a part of that credit union. So you do want to look at credit unions because they are more friendly banking systems.
Fewer fees.
Yeah, and also they, I think, do a better job around fraud protection. But I also just want to say, be mindful of checking on a regular basis your account. Don't put money in and assume it's going to be there a month, 3 months, 6 months later. Pay attention, because sometimes there are, it's just so much craziness that's taking place. Like, the internet and technology is good, and it's only as good as the people who are on the other side. And if you have bad people trying to get in and infiltrate, then bad things are going to happen. So just pay attention to, did you make a transaction, and
Review
all
your
of that kind of stuff.
transactions.
Review everything. Pay attention to
happened to
what's
me.
happening in your account on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you for tuning in to some of the basics around digital banking. We hope this information is helpful, and open up an account, get a job. Those two things go hand in hand.
Yeah.